All around the city, high school football teams are getting a jump on the 2015 season. The Memphis SportsZone is on a tour, bringing you as many teams as we can before the season begins. Telly, White, and Tresman on the way in the coming weeks. Stay tuned for that. Today, we kick off our coverage at Stokes Stadium, Hull Dobbs Field, home of the Owls of MUS, five-time state champions. They finished with a record of 8-4 last season. The high school football tour starts now. All right, here on the campus of MUS, where the Owls are going through summer OTAs alongside the head coach of the MUS football program, Coach Bobby Alston. Coach, thanks so much for joining me. As you look back at last year, how would you categorize that season in your mind?
Well, I thought we eventually found the pieces to the puzzle and got guys playing in the right spots. The team had played well, especially down the stretch. Thought we played some really good football down the stretch, and so they finished out on a high note.
As you look back at that year, lost some big-time contributors from that team. Seniors who graduated, Peyton Jones going to the University of Memphis, Colt Neal going to play baseball at Memphis, Drew Richmond going to Tennessee. Talk about the impact of those players on this program, and who do you expect, I guess, to be the leader stepping up in their place this year?
Well, those guys certainly were good football players, and particularly Drew and Peyton both did their jobs very well, but replacing somebody like Colton, who scores so many touchdowns, will be difficult. We've got some guys coming back that I think are working hard. We'll be a little bit different kind of team this year, maybe not as big, but maybe a little quicker, and so it's an exciting time of year when everybody's hustling and trying to figure out where they can contribute, and the coaches are evaluating all the time. So good time of year.
When you talk about this time of year right now during the summertime, you're working on things here in the summer. What's the biggest thing you're trying to get across to the team without putting the pads on?
Well, we'll spend a lot of time on fundamentals, and then what we want to do is a base offense and defense. If we can get that done this month, where they can get lined up right and kind of know where they're supposed to start, then once we get back, we'll start trying to help them figure out, okay, after I get lined up, what do I do? But right now, it's basically get lined up and how to get off the ball, and some conditioning, of course, and just overall general prep.
I've been to a lot of high school football games in my time. Last year I came out to a couple out here, but I saw something that I haven't seen before on the sidelines. You had a giant telestrator out here that the defensive coaches were using, the kids were looking at. Talk about that innovation for the football team, and how much does it help the team?
Well, a couple of years ago, they changed the rules about what you could do on the sideline, so we've tried to take advantage of that, give our kids every opportunity to see what they're doing right or wrong during the game. So when they get off the field, we can show them the last few plays that were in there, and if we're doing something incorrectly, the coaches can get it corrected, and if we're doing something good and we want to accentuate that, we can hammer that home too.
We got a chance to look at the schedule a little bit. Talk about the upcoming schedule, which starts late in August. Some of the games, I guess all the games are big, but talk about some of the key games in your mind on this schedule.
Well, the first part of our schedule is really to get us ready for the region games. We only have 3, but and then the playoffs. So we try to schedule teams that are high quality opponents, and I think we've got a really good schedule this year. Opening game was Central. Central had a breakout kind of year last year, and they're going to be good again. Coach Crutchfield does a great job down there. We do a Mississippi tour. We play 3 really good programs down in Mississippi: South Panola, Grenada, Olive Branch. All 3 of those are usually really good teams. And we play Ridgeway here before we get back into the region game. So we've got 6 games at the start of the year that are great opportunities. Plus we'll scrimmage Tresvant, we'll scrimmage Whitehaven. So I think we'll see all the really top teams in town.
No question about that. Big-time teams coming in. You've got some players I got a chance to look at online who are rising up the recruiting charts here in Memphis for this football team. Talk about some of the standout guys on this team that are being heavily recruited right now.
Well, we got two seniors that have received Division I offers. Tim Hart's a linebacker that started for 2 years. Really good player. He's got multiple offers from several SEC schools and some the Big Ten and some other places as well. He could end up, if he has a great year like we think he will, he could end up being close to being one of our all-time leading tacklers. Just an outstanding football player, good leader, team captain, good guy. And then Thomas Pickens has a lot of offers from Division I schools, including Memphis, and he is a kind of athletic guy. He played corner for us last year. He came in the second half of the season, and we got him in at receiver and started getting the ball, and he made a lot of big plays for us at receiver. But very talented guy, very good player, a big physical kind of receiver, defensive back.
All right, the MUS Owls again kicking off the season against the Central Warriors. We're looking forward to that game. It's going to be a good one, folks. Going to catch up more with the Owls later on this summer as the season approaches. More Sports Zone coming up in just a moment.